Hi there, Dan West again. Last year, my wife and I started a project that I had been trying to come up with a solution for about 4 years, off and on. I mean, I wasn't really pressed or in a position to start anything, so I was kind of in the back of my mind. I had other things going on at the same time that were going to, take some time to get through, mainly some knee injuries I had. But there was a situation where I have the garage for my shop, so our cars sit out in front. My house has a northerly exposure, so all my garages open up, which faces the west. I get all the sun that beats in here. Plus, it's just been really, it's always been hot, but it seemed like it's getting more. Maybe it's just my age, whatever. I just don't like our cars sitting out in the sun. It's not like we're in our 30s and working and planning on buying new vehicles. We want these vehicles to last us now, and twilight of our years. You think a little bit differently. I'm not worried about what it's going to look. I'm not going to put trash up in my house, but then again, I'm not worried about house beautiful, and trying to please everybody else. In what they like, I may like with his family or friends. I want something that's going to work for us and serve our needs. And I'm talking about a carport, some kind of a carport. I definitely don't want to go into construction. I could build a real nice one. Again, if I was younger, I would. I've built so many of them, and I'd probably do it in a type of a timber framing type of motif, because it's just beautiful looking. They can be freestanding, don't have to be attached to the house. But I don't want to go through all that expense or plan check. So, I see time to time, around the neighborhood, wherever you see these little kits that you can buy. Some are out of plastic, some are out of metal tubing. Then, of course, you have the tarps that are specially made for that configuration you're buying. And they're really nice. Depending what you want, you could start spending some pretty, serious money for these things. But I'm talking about a truck and a car. And the other aspect is that we have a one car wide, narrow driveway entrance. It's enough for one car, but it opens up to where you can park several vehicles in the parking area. Easily my wife's truck and my Ford Fusion, and then there could be another one or two even at the entrance area. But we live in a mountainous area of the valley, so the homes are tiered, and the way our flow is, the driveway actually slopes down and over to the right when you're facing the house and entrance. So it's not flat. So I've tried to think of, I can do this, I can maybe pour a hole here, do that. And with those kind of ideas, you're still dealing with the structures in the driveway, and so now you don't have a really open, clear area of driving. You've got to be very specific in how you come in. So those ideas, even though I laid them out, I kind of knew back in my mind, this is just not going to work. But I was trying to think of anything and everything, trying to come up with something. And usually that's what you try to do, think of the most ridiculous, and sometimes that gets you to the most practical system of solving problems. Think of everything. Don't just be tunnel vision and think of just one thing and exclude everything else. So I thought of something. We were on the way to the bowling alley, and I had seen something that caught my eye, and that's what I more or less worked on, and that is our house sits like this, and our garage sits like this. This is the northern exposure, and this is the the western exposure, and then their driveway comes down like this. I thought of attaching a tarp to the two fascia boards, one on the house and a fascia board on the garage. The garage is 16 feet. The length that I would need where the post is going to go into a garden, a planter box, would be 27 feet. And that would mean that I have to buy two tarps, a 12-foot and a 20-footer, both 16 feet wide, and it would overlap. So this is the idea I went with. So last year, in the dead of summer, I mean, it was really, really hot. My poor wife suffered. She was so red. We took each tarp and we laid out the exact location of each eye. And I would go up and I'd drill and screw the eye bolt into the fascia boards. And then we folded everything up and put it away. Meanwhile, within that same period, I had bought, I was going to put a 4x4 for the post. I got, wood. If I put a fence, yeah, but for this, no, even though I'm only my year I work on a 10-year plan now, being 70, anything within 10 years, I'm hoping will work. I'm not worried about if I was 30 years old and starting brand new. I do things altogether different, believe me. So, no, wood is out. I don't care how thick or big it was, 6x, whatever, go to steel, 4-inch steel, 1/4 inch. So I had to buy a 20-footer. They sell them only 20-foot stocks. So no matter how, you might want 1 foot, you got about a whole 20-footer. So this is what this video is going to show. I want to show mainly, again, I say my videos are for people who are maybe just starting out, trying woodworking, whatever, or whatever. It's not for the hardcore guys to know everything already. They can go off and do their thing and build furniture and exotic stuff. There's some guys out there that are really, they're really amazing what they can come up with and build, and the furniture, it's just beautiful and very talented. But my videos are for someone who, a handyman who, would like to do something but not necessarily have to pay a tradesman to do it and whatnot. Maybe they don't have the money, or they just like to do it themselves. I'm going to go through the basics of this type of structure going to the ground, because I've done a lot of retaining wall footing. When you're building high rises, you're going down 3, 4, 5 stories down for parking. You got to know what you're talking about as far as footings and retaining walls and what have you. And I know the basic what I need for this pole. So it's going to be a real basic little design there, and little tools that I'm using as far as screed rods and what have you that I'm going to be talking about, and as well as tying the steel, putting the steel in the cage down in there. Because the steel is going to be tied around this pole and then set down into the hole. I'm going to talk about the curing of it. When you pour the concrete, in construction, you got to go with it. Keep going. Well, they put CC in the mix, calcium chloride, to help speed it up and the bonding of it. But you're buying sacks of concrete, like the 36 sacks of concrete, 16 cubic feet. It's a bit of a job, and I even bought a small mixer for it, a real small, like a toy almost. It was cheaper for me to buy the mixer, use it one time, and then sell it for $100. Believe me, it sold within, what, was it 4 or 5 hours at the most when I put it out in the street? So it was well worth the investment in the deal, and the little mixer worked just fine. If I had more stuff, do you believe me, I'd keep it. The little mixer was just perfect for household needs, Anyways, I'm going to go through this video. I had some things already set up, and the reason I'm starting things now, I started to set this up on my video program. I lost several things, so I'm almost starting over. So I do have photos, but some of the other videos I had, I lost them, and I just realized I think I lost. I had two gardeners, my gardeners, Javier and Freddie. Javier's a Mexican fellow. Freddie's El Salvadorian, of all people. They usually don't get along. These guys are really great. When it came time to pour the concrete, I was really trying to find someone who could help me, because, again, younger I could do it, but my age, I just know there wasn't any way I would have mix 36 sacks of concrete, pour it, tamp and everything. And they not only offered to help me, never asked for any money or whatever, But and I paid them well. But they offered to go to Home Depot and get the sacks of concrete run. They both have heavy duty trucks. We went there. I said I'll meet them there. It was 6. I'll meet them there. I think I met them there at 7, I believe. I had the sacks already out in the pallet, paid for them, and when they pulled in, 18 sacks in each truck, mind you, 7 o'clock. Okay. Got back to my house. We started by 9. Was it 8:30? I believe it was 8:30. By 8:30, we were done. Can you believe it? We were done. I had everything set up. I had built a chute for the concrete little mixer, specifically designed for the mixer to go right up to it, to where it would go in, because we had to, make this go out, and it was easier for us to do it that way instead of just try to with shovel or just pour it with a mixer. It actually went into the hole better that way. But it was a hot day. You'll see. I hope I can save that video. You'll see it there. It was a really hot day, and they did a great job. So, anyways, with that, again, like I said, this type of patio awning is not for everybody. It's a tarp. It's going to have some sag in it, but the sag you see is 7'6" clear, so it's more than high enough for my wife's truck and everything. And the main thing is we want to protect it from the sun. Again, if I was younger, I would definitely do something different. But I'm trying to find something that's going to work, and it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. And even though it still costs a considerable amount of money for it, not like I had to go to Plan Check and build something really nice. So if you would kind of keep that in mind, that it's again, I know not everyone would want to put this in the front of their house, but it worked for us. That's all we're concerned about, and it keeps the sun out of my shop. In the summertime, that sun would just blow in here, and it would get so hot that I just, and then I just don't like the sun beating on my bench. I'd stop, or I got bamboo curtains and all that, but now that's all gone. So with that, I'll try to blow through some of these pictures, trying to spend too much time on them so you can see and get an idea what I'm looking at, or what you're looking at, and what I'm trying to portray to you. And again, I just couldn't be happier. Got it all done. I put the tarps up by myself yesterday, and my body is telling me that I did do it. I am sore. I'm sore all over. So, anyways, hope you enjoy it, and hope you get something out of it. And as always, at the end, I'll have my email address at the bottom, because I do not have a website. I don't do this for a living. I do it just for, the hobby of it, and maybe hopefully, pass some of the things I've learned on to someone else. That's my main consideration. And other than that, if you have comments, whatever, I don't mind. By all means, go ahead and give me a comment or something if you want. If you don't want, that's okay too. Again, I'm not trying to. Some of these guys, I know, make a great living at it, and more power to them. I think it's great that they can do that, and it's not easy. I know it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's just not as easy as you might think, but it is enjoyable. So with that, have a good day. I won't say don't use any putty. There's no putty involved in this job. Okay, that's it. So we'll see you on the next click of the switch there. Okay. All right, here we go. Bunch of pictures coming up here. And as a union man, I was always taught at an early age to maintain conditions. And of course, now I'm older. This is the way I work. I'm outside. I already got my little canopy up out there. Got my water, got my fan out there and everything. And I'm going to be doing the digging. So this is where we go with the footing. That is very critical. It's got to be right, and I'm going to do the best I can with it, even though I'm not the young man I used to be. This is just another view of the little work area I've got, and where I'm starting out. This next picture coming up is going to show the two young men that helped me put this steel pole in place, and they helped hold it while I secured it. They're two young men out of my church, and they're really nice. That board coming into the driveway area, that's shot down with gun nails, like a ram set, and the other one is just staked in with a wooden stake, and it's plumb, and that's how it stayed secured during the process. This here is the hole that originally began at, where I located it, and as I dig around, it just drops down, and I get it down to the proper. I'm going 2 foot, and normally on a post you go 3 foot, but the way I've got this design and the amount of concrete I'm putting in, especially with the 4-inch slab on top, just the actual structure of it instead of a tube or a hole, it's going to be more than sufficient. And of course, I'm going to have steel in the mix as it is. You'll see. And here we go. And in this next shot shows a screed rod. Now I'm going to spend a few minutes here talking about this. I have 2 boards hooked together. Now normally you only use one, but in this case I'm spanning from brick to brick, the retaining wall next to my neighbors and my brick wall there on my driveway. That is where my concrete is coming up to flush the top of the brick. So this is what's called a screed rod. As you pour the concrete, you'll pull that across the cement and you'll level it out as we go. Before that, though, I have to dig the dirt down. I want that dirt 4 inches below the top of both concrete, I should say brick barriers there. So that little piece of wood you see sticking up there, that's 4 inches from the top of the brick. So as I dig and excavate and rake, I'm checking it constantly with that board to see I'm at least a 4 inch minimum from the top of the brick to the surface of the dirt there for my slab. And there's just another view of it. That's the configuration of the footing that's going to be for this pole. So I've got a 2 foot deep, 18-inch wide footing with on top of that it's another 4 inches of concrete as a slab, and that's going to be the configuration of that footing. In this next view here, you're going to see where I'm tying the wire. Now this cage has got to wrap around the pole, so I've got it up in the sawhorses. Those vertical one visor are holding a pipe in the middle, and the pipe is what's suspending the cage that I'm tying. I'm using a double wire butterfly type tie. If you're a rod buster, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but making it pretty strong with the tie. I used to tie with the guys back when I was a young man in high-rise construction. So this is me there tying the wire, and this is a shot of the cage, the wire reinforcement that goes down into it. You can't see, but I've got the retaining wall. I've got bolts epoxied in the wall, as well as where the driveway is. And I have bolts in the post also at the bottom. You might be able to see that. This little next shot is this little mixer I bought at Home Depot, and I got this thing for. I had to put it together, and this little baby, I'll tell you what, not bad. I built a chute for it so that it was custom fit to the bowl, so it'd be right up at it. Nothing was interfering, and it'd pour right in the chute. And it would actually shoot the concrete more towards the center of the hole, so then I would move it around and I'd tamp it while Freddie mixed the cement and Javier worked the mixer. Everything worked out pretty doggone good. And here they are, Javier and Freddie, 2 friends of mine. Javier's to the right of the picture there, and Freddie's in a light blue shirt. And you can see they're already, hot out there, and they really did me solid. I tell you, we were at Home Depot at 7 o'clock. 8:30 we were done with the pour, and they were gone home. So, and I paid them good. I paid them each really good. So, I just couldn't be happy, and it's just really 2 nice people. again, just just really, really nice. Here's the cement. It's poured, it's finished up to the top, and it just the pour just went really, really well. Here's a little something for you who have never done a lot of cement. If you got a lot of cement left over, pour it on something, a wood pile or something, like a panel, and break it up in little pieces. That way, when it dries, it's a lot easier to throw away and even break it up. But if you pour it in one big old lump, you might as well get a sledgehammer to break it apart. So that's a little tip there if you have some extra cement. And this light pole, that wood you see actually is a 6x6, and that goes down into that 4-inch steel, a good almost 2 feet, and it just sits there, and it's a lip, so it hangs over the steel, so the water can't get into it. And the light up on top is a solar battery powered light, and it's activated with photocell. So it's all by itself, and it's pretty good light, nice system, no maintenance involved, and I just wanted to put something up there instead of just having a tube sticking out in the air, so I thought of doing that. Here shows the eyes that I screwed into the fascia board of the garage and on the house, and it really worked out pretty good. Like I said, my wife and I did this last year, and it had to have been like, I believe it was 118, almost 120. It was really, really hot out there. She hung out there with me like a champ, and couldn't have done it without her. So it was really beneficial, and didn't take us all day to do it, but we got it done. Just another view of the fascia boards and how they're set up for the eye bolts and everything to receive the tarps. Well, that's it. Here's the last couple of shots of the finished product. Again, it's not something of beauty, more of function, and something that we wanted for a long time. So it does the job. I have an unobstructed area for the vehicles to move in, which is really a big plus in my opinion. And it serves our purpose, and it didn't cost us a whole arm and a leg to get it done. So with that, again, if I was younger, I'd build something a lot more appropriate. But this is what it is. We're happy. We're happy with it. I hope someone out there might maybe get some use of what I was trying to relay to them in terms of techniques or whatever, or idea. Other than that, there's my email address. Any comments you have, by all means, give me a shout. Again, don't have a website. I do this for fun and enjoyment. I don't make a living at it, and I just hope I can help some people. If they, so many times I've heard people say you want to do something but they don't know where to get any answers, and so maybe I can help sometime. Other than that, this is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll just see you on the next one, okay? Which will be Tom's bench. Now I can finish the bench I'm making for my buddy Tom. Bye-bye, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.